All right, guys, I know it's been a while. I've been away for a minute from the game. We haven't really been talking too much WoW on the channel. Haven't been really doing anything. But today is the day that we go in and we're going to talk about the War Within and what Fury is going to look like, man. So I have the current 10.27 talents up on my screen right now, what Fury is going to look like on the other monitor. You can't see this, but I kind of want to dive in and, talk about the War Within a little bit. I am super excited. I know it comes out this year. And I'm ready because when it drops, the date drops, I'm taking off a whole week of work. So we're going to have a good old time. But I'm going to go through Warrior first. Warrior is my main, so we're going to go ahead and talk about it a little bit and look at some of these talents. If you're new to the channel, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and get right into the video. So we went through the Mountain Thane hero talents, right? We're kind of going through. And from what I can see from the War Within tree and the current retail tree, honestly, a lot of things look the same when it comes talent wise. So things have been shifted around, which I kind of like, but we'll kind of see if it's gonna make Fury one of those specs that you actually gonna want to main coming into the new expansion. So we can go through Mountain Thane. So we got Lightning Strikes, which is a talent. Damage enemies with Thunderclap, Rage and Blow, execute. Have 25% chance to also strike with a lightning bolt, dealing 60% of attack power as nature damage. Light strikes occur 30% more often during Avatar. So, of course, if we want to utilize lightning strikes the most, we're going to go ahead and spec into Avatar, which you're going to spec into Avatar anyway. So it doesn't really matter. So we're going to go down the tree, Call of Thunder, Storm Strike or nature damage. Your abilities deal is increased by 5%. Storm Strike damage ignores armor. Thunderclap damage increased by 50% and it generates 5 rage. And then seismic vibrations improve whirlwind, meat cleaver, and barbaric training improve thunderclap as well as whirlwind. So we're definitely going to know we're going to go down those talents, right? Lightning strike also deals 30% of attack power to enemies near the target, damage reduced beyond 5. So once again, lightning strikes is going to cleave. It's not going to do really more damage over 5 targets. We'll kind of see. That's going to be great for Mythic Plus, depending on how big the builds are, but we kind of go from there. Strength of the Mountain. Shield Slam damage increased by 10%. Bloodthirst and Rampage damage increased by 10%. Yeah. We want that. We want that. Right? Thunder Blast. Shield Slam and Bloodthirst have 35% chance to grant you Thunder Blast, stacking up to 2 charges. Thunder Blast, your next Thunderclap becomes a Thunder Blast that deals Storm Strike damage and generates 5 rage. I think that's pretty good. We're going to roll with that. We're going to go through Stormbolt. Stormbolt also hits 2 additional nearby, stunning for 2 seconds, so a cleave stun, we'll take that. And then Storm Shield is intervening a target, grants them a shield for 5 seconds and absorb magical damage equal to 3 times your armor. So, that is not bad. Not bad, not bad. We would definitely probably go with Storm Strikes. Keep your feet on the ground, armor increases by 8%, Thunder Blast reduces damage you take by 8% for 5 seconds. I think that's just the best one out of that one. Burst of Power. Lightning strikes have a 15% chance to make your next 2 bloodthirsts have no cooldown, deal 25% increased damage, and generate 2 additional rage. So, that's not bad. Not bad. Flash of Skies, Thunder Blast calls down a lightning strike on an enemy it hits, and then activating Recklessness grants a charge of Thunder Blast. Good. I think we would go with the Snap Induction. Gathering Clouds, your attacks trigger lightning strikes 30% more often. Lightning strikes generate 5 rage, rage and blow, and execute damage increased by 15%. So I think out of these two, we're going to probably go with Gathering Clouds, just try it out. Once I get access to the beta, which hopefully it's tomorrow, we can do a little bit more testing and see how this is going to go for us. So in this build, we're going with Gathering Clouds. And then our last talent we're going to spin in the hero talent tree is Avatar of the Storm. Casting Avatar grants you 2 charges of Thunder Blast and resets the cooldown of Thunderclap. While Avatar is not active, Lightning Strike has a 10% chance to grant you Avatar for 4 seconds, and your next Thunderclap becomes a Thunder Blast that deals Storm Strike damage. So I think this is pretty cool, right? So as Avatar is on cooldown, you get a 10% chance whenever Lightning strikes, it strikes, get Avatar for 4 seconds. So if anyone that doesn't know what Avatar does, it makes you last 20 seconds, causes you to deal 20% increased damage, and removes all roots, snares. Great, right? So that 20% increased damage for 4 seconds, honestly, you could fit that into a good little window. when it comes to Fury. Usually always have something that you can hit. So should make things pretty fun for Fury. We'll just have to see how that goes. All right, now we can go into the generic class tree. We can go in, of course, we can kind of build this how we want to. But the two biggest talents that we definitely want to we're going to get to is going to be Avatar and then Thunderous Roar, right? I don't know how this is going to be yet with Champion Spear because this whole expansion, it really hasn't been touched. So we might not even bother even, going into Spear. I would like to definitely do some testing with it, but chances are it's not going to beat out anything over here with Avatar and its tree or Thunderous Roar and its tree, sadly. So they should have just went ahead and scrapped that. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go with my own build real quick, and then we'll talk about why I picked the talents. So you don't have to sit through this whole video watching me pick talents. All right. So I went ahead and built my tree out, and this is what I have. This is not final. This is not set in stone. This is not the meta. This is not the tier 1 build, unless it is, and it just is because I'm that guy. But this is the build that I come up with, and I'll kind of explain as we go through why I built the build the way that I did. So the biggest thing that we're going around is the hero talents, right? We want to work around Thunderclap. Now, there's just more general talents that we can take. We want to have some type of, we want to bring something to the group. So we definitely went into Rally and Cry. We took an Intimidate and Shout because we didn't take Shockwave for this build. But I think that's going to be okay because we do have Stormbolt, and with our tree having Stormbolt stun 2 additional nearby targets, so it'd be 3. I don't think it's going to be that bad that we went Stormbolt over Shockwave, and it does have a 10-second less of a cooldown, so I think that's going to be all right for us. All right, so other than that, we went through just with our normal reinforced plates. We want to increase our armor by 10%. We go through with just Whirlwind because we got a Whirlwind to do our DPS and everything else, right? Heroic Leap, all these things. Most of these things are pretty generic on the class side of the tree. Thunderous Roar, I went ahead and went with Thunderous Words. We went with Avatar, of course, and Berserk's Torment. Now, with these two things, you probably can go either way. I think a lot of these talents that you get to choose which way you want to go. I think honestly you can kind of go with more of like your play style in the way that you want to do it. So you can honestly go either way. I just went ahead with Berserk's Torment. So, we get wreck whenever we cast. Well, we get the other when we cast 1, right? Just to make it simple, right? Now we went ahead and went over to the actual spec tree of it all. And I can go in a little bit more detail with this, right? So of course we went Bloodthirst. We went Rage and Blow because we have to. In Rage Generation, want to have a little bit of survivability. This is one of the ones that I chose to go Frenzied in Rage because in Rage, increase your haste by 15%, increase your move speed by 10%. Mainly for the movement speed, we get the haste inherently. Or you can honestly go powerful in Rage. Increase the damage abilities by 15%, and in Rage duration is increased by 1%. Now, we could go this way because this affects all of your abilities doing the additional 15% damage. That might be the way to go. Just depends on the build, and it might just be more optimal to go with powerful and Rage. But as of right now, we're going to go with Frenzied and Rage. We went in Sudden Death just for execute procs. Cruelty just to get the damage increase on Rage and Blow. We're going to get 2 charges, Rage and Blow. We went ahead and buffed Whirlwind just like on retail, just because we're going to be using Whirlwind a lot as a filler until our haste cap increase and all these things. And so we definitely go with the Whirlwind damage increase. And the good thing about it is affecting our next 4 single target melee attacks instead of the next 2. You don't have to really Whirlwind too much in those windows. You can Whirlwind and then you can do your single target priority, and it's going to handle itself, right? I'm going to try out Cold Steel, Hot Blood, just to see how it works. It's kind of one of those things, if it scales the right way, it's going to be good. If it doesn't, then it's like, you can put it somewhere else, right? Now, the saddest part about all of this, right, and we're going to go ahead and talk about it, is this ability right here, Single-Minded Fury. Now, they baked in Single-Minded Fury and the other talent that you can go into it that increases uh, your one-handed weapon damage by 30% with the auto attacks. They went ahead and baked all of this into one talent, right? The crap part about this is because the talent itself is such a great talent, but two-handed weapons bring you so much more stats than one-handed weapons, and usually the two-handed weapons are just better anyways. You're never gonna really get to the point that like, yo, Single-Minded Fury might be a contender. It's honestly just a waste of a talent. I'm glad they made it just one talent versus having to put 2 points in to make you maybe want to try Single-Minded Fury. Will they get a buff? I hope so, because that 5% increased damage is not it. Give us 15, give us 20, maybe we might be pushing it. And maybe Single-Minded Fury might do a little something. Maybe I should do Single-Minded Fury on live. See how it goes. Nope, it won't work out because the legendaries, it's too good. Why would you skip that, right? Recklessness, of course, we're going to Swift Strikes. Basically going all the way down the left side and in this tree as well. We're going to take Reckless Abandonment because we want Wreck to proc and give us rage and make Recklessness, Rampage. We want all the damage, right? We want to constantly be hitting buttons while we're playing Fury. We want 0 downtime. Sadly, I don't like Odin's Fury. I really never liked the ability. I know the fantasy of the ability, but whenever I look at my DPS charts and I see one of my main capstone abilities not in my top 3 or top 5, it makes me question, like, why is this really worth it, right? It does damage. It's basically a cleave. It gives you rage. It's only on a 45-second cooldown, but I just don't feel like it's worth it. I'll never feel like it's worth it. I would rather honestly go Bladestorm, which might be something that I try, and I'm glad they put that back for Fury to have the choice between Ravager or Bladestorm. I've always liked Bladestorm as a fantasy for the class, especially if you're going ahead and you're swinging. You're dual wielding two-handers, all right? Bladestorm sounds perfect for this, right? So we might end up trying this maybe in some, we do some keys or whatever else. This might be a very good build to go instead of Odin's Fury. But since we did go Odin's Fury, it's going to enrage us. It's going to do 10% increased damage and grant us 2 stacks of Whirlwind. So we'll take that because it eliminates us having a Whirlwind after we Odin's Fury. Rampage and Onslaught have a 20% chance to grant Recklessness for 4 seconds. We definitely want that because if it activates Recklessness, then we go ahead and it ties into Reckless Abandon, gives us 50 more Rage, and powers our next Bloodthirst or Raging Blow. Y'all get what it does. And then Wreck lasts 4 seconds longer. We want to be in those Wreck windows. I mean, we want it. So that's going to be an additional 16 seconds. Our damage is increased by 20%. We want Wreck up at all times. So as many chances that we can get Wreck up, we want to have it, right? So whenever I do get access to the beta, I will be trying this build. This is probably the build that I'm going to go with. But I think at some point, depending on how many people are in the queues and things like that, I will want to try the Bladestorm build just to see how it goes. We'll just have to see. But this is my build, and also I'm missing a point right here. And Avatar the Storm. Cast an Avatar grants you 2 charges of Thunder Blast and resets the cooldown of Thunder Clap. Wow, Avatar is not active. Yeah, we went through all that. So I had to make sure to add that point. This is the Mountain Thane build, right? I hope that Fury is in a good spot come the War Within. I was watching Touchpad Warrior's video that he was talking about basically just how Warrior looks when it comes to animations and things like that. I'm not going to go into detail on it, but I think it was a very good video. I'm going to put his link down in the description below. Go ahead and check him out, support him. I like all his stuff. But hopefully some of these things can bring Warrior back to the forefront, bring us that glory back again in the War Within. But this is my talent build. I think it's going to be pretty much similar to how retail plays right now. Maybe the hero talents is what's going to make warrior really feel the way I feel it should feel, if that makes sense. All right, so better be back. See you guys in the next video. Make sure if you liked it and you watched it all the way to the end, like, comment, subscribe, comment the word ham sandwich. If you watched all the way to the end of the video, comment the word ham sandwich, even though I don't like ham sandwiches. All right, see you guys in the next video. I'll holla at you. Peace.